Church, my name is Mikaela Kwiatek and I work with our Spanish venue here at the Vista campus. And I know what a lot of you are probably thinking. What is this super white blonde haired girl doing in the Spanish venue? And I just want to share with you a little bit about how I got there. So a little over 3 years ago, I went to Costa Rica with 1112, and by the end of that week, God had absolutely rocked me and he was calling me back to Costa Rica. But he was not only calling me back to Costa Rica, he was calling me to learn Spanish. And the crazy thing about that is I intentionally did not take Spanish in high school. I was in Spanish 1 for a day. I hated it and I transferred right out of it. I ended up studying ASL for the next 4 years. So God put this call in my heart to learn Spanish and I was like, okay. And so next thing you know, I end up spending the summer in Costa Rica, and flash forward 3 years later, I have the privilege of doing ministry in Spanish. And one of my roles in the venue is worship. So let's go ahead and open up to Psalm 86, and we're going to be in verses 9 and 10. It says, "All the nations you have made shall come and worship before you, O Lord, and shall glorify your name. For you are great and do wondrous things. You alone are God." How cool is that? All nations. It doesn't matter where you grew up, where you came from. It doesn't matter what language you speak, what culture you're a part of. Every language, every nation will worship God. But you know what? Sometimes worship starts where your comfort zone ends. Sometimes God's calling you to do something that isn't in your norm. Maybe you're going to a different venue, or maybe you walk into church, you don't see anyone that you know, or a song's playing that you've never heard before. But worship is one thing that unites us as a church. In 1 Corinthians 12, it talks about how we were baptized as one spirit and as one body. And everyone wants a sense of belonging. And worship gives us that. We all have the same goal, the same purpose. And that is such a beautiful thing. Sometimes on weekends, I'll walk around, I'll hear the worship in different venues, and it's so cool because I'll hear the same song that we're singing in Spanish, but in English. And it reminds me that it doesn't matter what language, we're all worshiping the same God. So I want to challenge you today, church. Don't keep worship just within these church walls. Don't keep worship just a constricted time that you have on a Saturday or a Sunday. Take worship home with you. What's something that you can do today to worship our God? Maybe it's something out of your comfort zone. Maybe it's something that he's been calling you to do, been putting on your heart, something that you're nervous about, but it's worship. And it's something that we are doing as a church family, something that unites us as a body of Christ. So let's worship together today, church. See you next time.